come on, man, you know the thing. Who else is a more patriotic American than these fine folks? I mean, other than maybe Colonel Sanders, because his chicken is tinger flicking good. Or finger sticking good. I mean, come on, man, you know the thing. They're definitely better than that Bernie Sanders guy. Can you believe I beat that guy in an election? I am Joe Biden, Bo Jiden. As the President of America, I just want to say Jim Jar are cool cats. I am Joe Biden, Bo Jiden. I mean, come on, man, you know the thing. Anyways, I gotta go. I have to go to deliver some tanks or something to that President Zelensky guy. Peace out, hooliganies.
What is up, friends? Good to see you guys. I see Mr. H in the comments, and I also see Warren in the comments playing No Man's Sky and lurking. That's right. You get those shards. You get that nanites. Good morning. Good morning, Rick. Good to see you, or afternoon, whatever it is. It's still early for me. I've had like a little bit of a rough morning today, so we're gonna take it easy today. Watch some news stuff, see what's going on in the news thing. I didn't do anything to myself. I just woke up and was sitting there and was catching up on some news this morning, and all of a sudden I just got like this sharp pain in my lower back, and then that's been it. Like that's it. I'm stuck. Like I can't move. I took some Excedrin and I smoked a joint, so hopefully I feel a little better. So, and we got the kitties today hanging out. We got Miss Izzy right here, and today we've got Odin. Look, Odin is here. Ooh, Mr. Odin. I love Mr. Odin. Never comes out and says hi. So yeah, we had Mr. Burton, but he's being a little pain in the ass. So. And we got Lady and Dodger, of course. Hi. Can't forget you guys, of course. So it's cool. We got the little kitties today to hang out with us. Huh, Miss Izzy? Oh, Miss Izzy. She's all, don't touch me, bitch. I'm not in the mood. Oh, so funny. But yeah, so I ended up messing up my lower back this morning. So I took an Excedrin at like noon my time, an hour, maybe half an hour ago. So I'm waiting for that to kick in. And I'm going to turn down my light a little bit because my light seems a little bright today. There we go. Okay. That feels a little bit better. I don't feel like I'm blown out. Okay. So anyway, yeah, we got the kitties today. See the future president reaching out to Latino vote. Crack is universal. Jesus Christ. So yeah, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to take it easy. My fucking back hurts. My lower back hurts. I was like sitting there contemplating, like, should I just not do the show today? Like, I really am in a lot of pain and I really don't feel like having to deal with it, but I smoked a joint. So I think I'm all right. I mean, I'm still in pain. It's there, but it's like, as long as I don't move, I'm all right. Like when I cough or sneeze or do anything like that, my lower back is like, nah, fuck you. So I got to take it easy today. What's up, Steve? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. All right. So let's pull up some news stuff for today. I didn't do too much yesterday. I just played some more video games. Warren hung out and played some video games. Played some No Man's Sky, which is what Warren's doing right now. I'm pretty much like obsessed with No Man's Sky again, because you can get like this special money in there, and I'm just like all over it now. So I'm like, I'm going to become a bazillionaire in that money. But you have to use that special money to upgrade, you can use that special money to upgrade your ships and your guns. So I've been gathering a bunch of that special money, but I'm wasting it all on upgrading all my guns and my favorite ships right now. So once I finish upgrading all of the stuff that I like, I'm just going to collect and collect. And then I'm going to go around to all the good solar systems and get all the good upgrades, S-class upgrades for all my ships and stuff. Yeah, I'm going to be rich in nanites. I'm so excited. Hi to the cats only. Oh, hi, Lana. The kitty said hello. Oh, it's good to see you here on a live. I've been seeing your comments in the replays. I get the notification. So thanks for still hanging around. All right. So let's oh my gosh. Yeah, I am in a lot of pain today. This is not fun. All right. We're gonna hello. You're so cute. We're gonna take this easy today. All right, so let's see. What can we talk about first? No, because then I have to read it. Have you guys been hearing about, I guess it's only been happening for like the last, I don't know, probably about 24, 48 hours at the most. But Ro Khanna has been asking Senator Feinstein to resign. So she technically hasn't even been working since like February, March. Apparently she has the shingles. They're like calling it an illness, saying that she's just out until she's got the shingles. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever, like, if anyone in the audience of us has ever had the shingles, but holy fuck, like, okay, getting it as a kid is like a whole different story. Getting it as a grown up is like deathly. It's deadly. You can literally die from getting shingles at an old age. But shingles is like the next step up from like chicken pox, pretty much. Like, from at least from what I've heard and experienced and stuff. Because I always heard that you're not supposed to be able to get chicken pox more than like once or twice in your entire lifetime. But I got chicken pox as a kid like 4 times or something, 4 or 5 times. And then when I turned like 12, I think, because I wasn't yet a teenager, so it must have been like 10 or 11 years old, I ended up getting the shingles. And it was horrible. Like, because I had it on my ear. And I heard when you have it on your ear, like it's that close to the brain, like you could die and stuff. Like, because I remember trying to cover it up because it was like all puffy and stuff. I looked like I had cauliflower ear on my lower lobes. And I remember trying to and it was always red. And I tried to like cover it up with this makeup that my grandma had given me. And to this day, I still can't like smell that makeup without thinking of the shingles. Well, anyway, Dianne Feinstein has this, and she's like 89, almost 90 years old, and she's still in office. Like, if anything, she should resign just for how old she is, So, but it's so funny to see like all these people in the mainstream media on the liberal side like say that this is sexist, that there's like, I guess Mr. Turtle Man Mitch McConnell hasn't been working for like a couple of months either, and nobody's asking him to resign. And I'm just sitting there like, yes, I am. Absolutely, I am. Yes. Let's get rid of all the dinosaurs, please. Let's get rid of all of them. I would be happy. So anyway, I think I just explained the entire thing about what's going on, but at least we get to sit here and talk shit about like the mainstream media calling it a sexist move and stuff. And I hate to say it, but I kind of agree with Ro Khanna, and I'm pretty sure Ro Khanna is wanting her to do this so he could take her spot. But but yeah, okay. So here is one of the videos I have for the Senator Feinstein being asked to resign. Oh, I should turn
Health
that
and
up.
future of California Senator Dianne Feinstein, 89 years old. The Democrat has been absent from the Senate business, or from all Senate business, rather, recovering from illness. And now some of her fellow Democrats claim that she can no longer do her job and she should quit. Scott McFarland is on Capitol Hill for us. Scott, this is quite a talker. Good morning.
Tony, in a narrowly divided U.S. Senate, Dianne Feinstein is a pivotal vote at a pivotal moment. She's the oldest U.S. senator and has been absent now for 2 months as she recovers from shingles. In a statement last night, she said her return to Washington has been delayed due to continued complications. And also, in a rare request, she asked Senate Democratic leaders to temporarily fill her seat on the pivotal Senate Judiciary Committee. That panel's work confirming federal judges has been partially stalled in her absence. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer last night said he...
Yeah, so I guess the reason why they're complaining is because they want to, like, she's not doing her job as the Judiciary Committee, and I guess they're, like, wanting to put in new judges or something. Is this like are they like, my question is are they filling the court? Is that what the Democrats are trying to do? And so they don't have the Democrats to do it, so they can't fill the court. Is that what they're trying to do? Like fill the Supreme Court right now? I'm not sure what they mean. Is it like, statewide Supreme Courts or something? I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can help me out with that. That's what I'm not understanding. You wanted Dianne Feinstein gone years ago as you don't agree with her politics? Yeah, absolutely. I remember in my economics class when I was 17 in high school, in 2002, 2003, I wrote her a letter about offshore oil drilling in California. That's how long she's still been. And she's still there right now. She's still in office now. So it was like an economics project we had to do. We had to write like 3 politicians a letter of something that we were very passionate about, whether we agreed with them or disagreed with them, and see what we could get back. And she's one of them that I wrote to. And yeah, I wrote to her back in 2002, 2003 about ending offshore oil drilling in the Pacific and what it was doing to like the seafloor and the kelp and all of the living creatures down in there. So yeah, and then she's still in office. I never heard back from her, obviously, but yeah, she's still in office. So it's 2023. So what, like 20 years? And she was in office already at a long time at that point too. So yeah, it's crazy. Her inability to do things has never been the reason, right? Touche. They're talking about circuit court judges. Okay, thank you, Lana. Lana is my smarty, is my law smarty pants. You met a few of them in Seattle. Okay, in Seattle. Okay. Circuit court judges. All right. What's up, Yona? Exactly. That's exactly what I am doing today. Your PC keeps shutting down, so not sure how long I'll be here. Oh, well, thanks for at least stopping by and saying hi. Go Start. You're awesome. Thank you. All right, let's finish this, and we got another one to shit talk.
Would do so. But over the past 24 hours, some House Democrats...
Oh, yeah, I remember that. When those kids were, like, asking her about climate change, and she's like, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, that really, like, hit me really hard. Like, it like, brought out that nostalgia. Not, like, good nostalgia, bad nostalgia. Like, oh, okay, so this is what she thought of when I was writing to her, because I wasn't, at least at that time, of voting age, so she didn't give a fuck about what I said, because that's what she said to those kids. Yeah, exactly. Woo. She makes me so bad.
California's Ro Khanna have urged her to step down ahead of the 2024 elections, saying Feinstein can no longer fulfill her duties. Her office announced she will not run for re-election next year, but says she will be back here when doctors determine it's safe for her to resume traveling.
Oh my gosh, when it's safe for her to resume traveling. So she'll be back. She's going to finish out her sentence, obviously. But it's so stupid to me how, like, she knows she needs to step down. Like, she's just holding on for dear life for all that money. From what I heard too recently, like, who was it? Somebody, was it her? Because like, she's like not running again. She like her and her husband sold some house, some like really big mansion house from in another country that she used to hold like extravagant parties with leaders of other countries. And since she's not going to be in office again, they recently just sold that house. So like, come on. She's just trying to like get the last little bit of money that she can get before she has to retire, because she has no other choice, because she realizes that, she's failing and she's dying off, but she wants to get that last little bit of right. Send Lady back to Hogwarts for real. She's seriously on my last nerves today. Right, here's exactly your Rose broken clock moment for the week. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, she is. She's a placeholder for Wall Street votes. Yeah. Well, I guess Mitch McConnell is saying that he's going to take her place while she temporarily isn't able to be in there while she's still suffering from deathly shingles. I guess Mitch McConnell is going to take her place temporarily, which is stupid. Like, just come on. They're fucking dinosaurs, dude. She's almost 90 years old. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. All right, so here's the next one.
Feinstein has been out of the Senate for about 2 months now with a medical issue. She's back home at a hospital. She has, as you know, and we've heard private rumbling from the White House, her absence has held up the confirmation of a number of judges who the Biden administration, I know you as well, would like to see on the bench. How should this play out? Some of your colleagues, Democrats, have called for the senator to resign. Do you agree with them?
I don't, and I think it's interesting that, there have been male senators who have been away from the chamber for quite a period of time and haven't necessarily had, this call for resignation. Mitch McConnell, for instance, has been out of the Senate for a few months now. I think that there are, likely people who would like to see Senator Feinstein resign so that either, they or their favorite.
We would like to see Mitch McConnell and all the rest of them resign too. We're not just, obviously it looks like we're just picking on Feinstein, but if you just ask the regular people, I'm pretty sure the regular people say kick them all out too. So yeah,
candidates can perhaps be appointed to that seat. I think Diane is a legend. I think she has changed.
You notice how they put like the best pictures of her. They're like the most. I wouldn't say they're very doctored, but at least the ones that look like she's more alive than the normal pictures where she's all like shaking and shit because she can barely even like stand up. And then he says like she's a legend. Come on now, a career politician is not a legend. When somebody's been in office this long, that doesn't mean that the people voted for her because they liked her. This means that she figured out a way every 10 years when we have the caucuses or the census, sorry, not the caucus, the census, she's figured out a way to gerrymander her area to where she's always going to win no matter what. So no, she's not a legend. She's a manipulator is what she is.
Change this country for the better. I think she made the right decision to ask for temporary
change this country for the better. Like, isn't Dianne Feinstein's area San Francisco? And like, you can literally walk around in San Francisco and accidentally step in shit. I'm sorry, but it's not the best of the best. So Dianne Feinstein district. Where is her district? San Francisco. That's okay. Wait. Senator 1992. Okay, so but her office is in San Francisco, right? Well, she's a senator, so I guess it'd be like state. Hey, Miss Lady. Hey. Yeah, senator. Okay, her area is in the entire. That's what I was thinking. Okay, sorry. I'm all sitting here like trying to reach and it's getting all quiet. Okay, so she's the senator. All right, that makes sense. I'm just saying California is not the best either. So I could sit here and bag on San Francisco, but LA's not better. San Diego's not better. Everywhere else isn't any better. I mean, just okay. So I thought that she was like Congress, but if she's senator, which is a whole state of California, she's even more screwed. So yeah, Sacramento.
Approval while she recovers from the Judiciary Committee, but I think she deserves to have a little bit of time.
I thought California had 2 senators because it's so big. Maybe I'm tripping.
To recover from this injury and illness to be able to get back to the Senate. And no, I don't love, members of the House of Representatives telling her what she should do and the terms upon which she should end her public service. There's plenty of members of the Senate who have been sick, gotten ill, and have been given some time to come back and recover.
So her office has given no timetable for a return. In the interim, should there be some other step taken so that Democrats can get these judges confirmed?
Well, I think the step
we do
that
have
she's taken is
two.
probably the right one, which is to ask for a temporary removal.
Yeah, we do have two senators. So Alex Padilla and Dianne Feinstein. So she's the senator of Northern California because Alex Padilla is ours down here. So yeah, Northern California, which isn't, like I said, which isn't any fucking better.
From the Judiciary Committee. But again, if you look at the Senate over the past
I know.
months,
I was thinking of House Representatives. Yeah, I know. I was all kinds of messed up there for a second. Does every state have two senators? I could swear there was like some states with only one. Right? Drop Congress into a volcano.
It's not like we've had 99 senators. We normally have had 96, 97, 98. There's been a number of senators who have been away from the chamber for a variety of reasons. And so I just want the same standard applied to everyone.
All right, so we'll apply it to everybody. Let's get anybody that is born after or before 1970 out of office, whether it's Senate, Congress, President, DOJ, all of it, FBI, CIA, CS, all of it. I want all of them gone. If you were born before 1970, you're out, bitch. Out. Sorry, too old. You have to be born between 1970 and like 1987. That way you'll be 35. Every state does have two. Damn. I'm an idiot. They should split up California, to be honest, for real. I thought there was like some states with only one. States with one senator. God, states with class 1 senator. With a class 1 senator? No. Do any states have one senator? Each of the 50 states is equally represented by 2 senators who serve staggered terms of 6 years for a total of 100 senators. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Damn. Why did I always think it was something different? I don't pay attention very often, do I? 100 senators, 435 in Congress. Okay, so maybe no, because Congress is just like the districts, the congressional districts in the state, and there could be multiples of those. So I don't know where I was thinking there was like some states with only one senator. Maybe I was thinking there was only one senator in those states because they're so small, and I just didn't look it up and was like, it only needs one. So you're saying that like Senator Sanders in Vermont isn't the only senator? Vermont senators. Oh, yep. Peter Welch, Democratic Party. Absolutely. Wow, that's interesting. I would have figured these small ass tiny little states would only have one senator. And then they would, do like, I understood like California having 2 senators because of how big it is. You separate it into 2 pieces. Maybe like Texas has 2, Florida has 2, But like these little itty bitty ones like Maine or, all these other New Hampshire or something, you would think that they would only have 1 senator because they're so tiny. That's wild. Yeah, House of Reps is based on population. That's definitely where that's where I was thinking the gerrymandering thing with Dianne Feinstein. Yeah, because it's usually the House Reps that can get the gerrymandering going because it's their districts that they need to get revoted on. So the tiniest state and the largest state each have 2. Okay. Every time there's a census, some states gain or lose representatives in the House. Yeah, or like the districts change. So like your area would be like this one certain area and the others districts would be in, those little spots too, but your area could change to where like you've now added, this district and they've lost that little area of the district, or maybe you've lost the area of a district and this district next to you has gained it. And that's that gerrymandering stuff by the census. So yeah, for sure. My area just keeps growing and growing and growing. I swear, like my district is like from the bottom of San Bernardino Mountains, like right where the mountains start, all the way up to like Mammoth Mountains, up by like the California state line of like here, or where is it? Of like Lake Tahoe and shit. It's like way the fuck up there. my district is shitty because there's like a whole swath of desert north of us that doesn't have shit. So, okay, that makes sense. That absolutely makes
Chris
sense.
Murphy of
Mammoth is super far. Yeah. And that's my district. So I like San Bernardino Mountains all the way up to like Mammoth is my district. And it's like just this little triangle on the right side, like this huge, tall triangle district on the right side of California. And it's just one district. But you go out to like San Bernardino and it's like tiny district, tiny district, tiny district.
Covering a lot of ground for us this
morning.
Yes,
we do have the Charlie Brown's farm. I'm not dissing it. I love me some Charlie Brown's. My sister's getting ready to move right there next to it. So I told her, I was like, yo, sis, you're like my sister's only going to be like an hour away from me now. And she's over by Charlie Brown. So I told her, I was like, I'm going to come out to your house all the time. We're going to go to Charlie Brown's and just chill out and hang out all the time. I'm going to go buy me an ostrich egg. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. Like years. That's how long I've wanted an ostrich egg. I want to make the biggest omelet I can ever make with this. Like they sell these ostrich eggs at this Charlie Brown store out in like the desert. And these eggs are like this big, like the size of my head. They're enormous. Oh my God, Charlie Brown's is the best. It has the coolest stuff. And one day when I become rich, if I ever do, I'm going to buy one of those giant dinosaur statues because those things are so cool. Your district is like the top tip or is the tip of Texas in the Rio Grande River to San Antonio. Yeah, some places are really big. Some places are really fucking small. So, and you know that it's a mixture of like population and then gerrymandering as well. So that way they can continue to get voted because, you know, they have like, that's what they do the census for too, is like not only to see how much of the population is there. So that way they can get like subsidies for their district, but also to see who's like registered Democrat or who's registered Republican or independent. So that way they can gerrymander their district, redraw the district lines into a way where, you know, most of that district would be Democratic voters. And if that person's Democrat, then they'll always win no matter what, because it's a majority. And that's why they do those weird little lines like that, you know, with the wigglies, and it doesn't make sense, is because there's probably a neighborhood right there that's like, you know, Republican voters. So they're like, not what, well, we're going to skip that one and go to the next one. You know, it's crazy. 250 miles long. Yeah, that's kind of like how my district is. It's ridiculous. It's like a 3-4 hour, maybe 5 hour drive from the bottom to the top of my district. I'm from California, so we don't do miles. We do how long it takes to get somewhere. I have no idea how many miles that is, but I know to get from here to like Lake Tahoe, Mammoth is like 4-hour drive, possibly 5 hours, depending. So yeah, it's a big ass district. But then you go like down to San Bernardino or LA or whatever in the districts, you can get from one side of the district to the other in like 5 minutes. So yeah, this entire district where I'm at, this huge red triangle that's like 5 hours long, it's all red. We are absolutely red. So Jay Obernolte is the guy who is our assembly member. Well, he was our assemblyman. Now he's our House of Representatives. I've gone on stage with him when he was running for that spot, and he ended up winning it because I was running for something lower. And so we went on stage together as like a nonpartisan run for office rally thing. And so, yeah, he's really full of himself. Rich boy, has a private jet, flies everywhere, super Republican, don't really care. He's a jerk. But yeah, it's definitely red. I mean, we went from Paul Cook, who is super red, to Jay Obernolte, which is red. And then Paul Cook went from House of Representatives down one to Board of Supervisors, that's the spot that I was running for. So running against our House of Representatives, Paul Cook, it was just almost impossible. So yeah, about 4 hours. Okay. So yeah, your state's got, or your district's got the same sizes as us. It's crazy. The most craziest ones I've seen are the ones in Tennessee, like down by Nashville and stuff. That district is off the hook. I've never seen anything like some of that stuff in my entire life. Some of those district lines are wilding out there in like the Bible Belt area and stuff. Definitely. I remember Tennessee. Whoo, it is nuts. But yeah, these motherfuckers just need to retire. for sure. Just need to fucking retire. Like, for real, for real. That's all I got for Feinstein resigning. YOLO, exactly. YOLO. All right. So this is something I actually found. I think Ed Heller shared this in a group chat this morning, and I didn't even realize it. So this morning, or I guess sometime yesterday, you're in a red country too. What's up, desert? Yeah, you're red country. Same. Definitely red country. For sure. Your district is about 2/3 of Oregon. Jesus Christ. You're a West Coaster like me. That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah, it's bad out here. They say California's blue, but it's not. It really isn't. It just pretends to be blue. It blue faces. That's so racist. Okay, so Ed Heller shared this morning in a group chat. So breaking news, I guess. An arrest was made in the killing of the Cash App CEO, Bob Lee. The guy that killed him is the suspect is also allegedly a tech executive. Supposedly they're supposed to be friends, from what the thing is saying. The irony, I guess, around this is that Bob Lee moved out to Florida to get away from the violence and crime and stuff that he thought was going around in San Francisco. And I guess he moved back, or he was back in San Francisco, and he was also with a friend. So it kind of negates the whole, like, fear and irony of the whole situation of him getting murdered and stuff, because it was somebody that he knew. But what they don't mention in here too is at all, like, because towards the end of this video, he's going to mention, like, about that, like, about, well, he did move back, and it wasn't really, violence in San Francisco. It was his friend. There is, like, some stuff and hoopla on the internet about, like, it being an immigrant and how he was friends with immigrants and how dangerous immigrants are and how we should never bring. That's Twitter in a hoopla about that part. So they don't even mention that part in there. But we'll get to that. So let's watch what happened with the arrest of the suspect of the murder of the CEO of Cash App, Bob Lee, which is crazy. Honestly, I experienced better opportunities and had better relationships in that giant red district than I ever did in Seattle. Right. I don't know. I grew up in a very red district area too, like over by Charlie Brown's. And it's full of just racist motherfuckers. Ugh. I had more fun in, like, what, the quote unquote, like, ghettos, as you would call it, or as some people would call it. I mean, I felt more comfortable down there in those, living in those areas with them than I ever did in, like, houses with white people everywhere. Like suburban moms. I hate those motherfuckers. You can't even play your own music in the morning without them calling the cops on you. Fuck that shit. When I lived in the apartments out in, like, the Antelope Valley in the desert, man, I would play, like, Jimi Hendrix music at, like, 9-10 o'clock in the morning, and motherfuckers be walking by like, yeah, get it, white girl. And I was just like, I know, it's so much fun. You guys are great. I love those people. So yeah, I always had more fun hanging out in, like, the poorer areas than I did in, like, white areas, white suburban mom areas. and there were some, like, it was definitely in red districts for sure too. You live in a red dot in a blue county. Yeah, same. Hawaii is the first blue area I've been in where I felt like racism and all that shit is absent. Yeah. Well, don't, like, Hawaiians really hate tourism though too? So there's like, it's not like really a racism towards tourism itself, like towards, it's just like they don't want their land. It's kind of like indigenous against colonialism out there kind of thing. That's what I feel like is still going on in Hawaii. Because I know, like, the people out there that protest in Hawaii are, like, protesting against, like, NASA building a new building and it's ruining their natural, areas that are, growth and stuff, jungles and things like that. So think that might be going on, but yeah, I'm not sure. I've never been to Hawaii before, so I don't know. Yeah, exactly. They want their country back. Well, we stole it in like 1950 or something like that. So, I mean, it hasn't, it hasn't even been our part of our country for 100 years yet, and there's still people alive, that are older than how long we've owned Hawaii. So, yeah. Yeah, they hate the military occupation. Like, because I remember seeing them protest against NASA trying to put like some telescope out there because they think that they can see farther because it's out in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the ocean with not a lot of lights. So they were like, oh, we want to put a satellite or a telescope out there. And the people were like, nah, this is indigenous land. You can't do this shit. So like colonialization. Yeah. 1890. I thought it was like 19. Well, I know they like started getting it in 18. I thought it was like officially part of the 50 states, like the 50 states in like the 1950s or like the mid 1900s. I might be wrong. I swear. I'm always wrong. I'm stupid and I love it. Thanks for teaching me, peoples. They're happy to have visitors that are respectful. Exactly. And that's what you have to do too. Is you always got to respect people's cultures and stuff, especially. But that's good. At least, they're at least a little bit cool with, the respectful tourism that comes there. Cause yeah, I mean, yeah, I live in an unincorporated area and I hate when, tourists come out here, but then I also love it too, because it's the only thing that's keeping our town afloat. So is the tourism. You just don't go out to the touristy areas during touristy times. That's all. You just stay at home away from all of them. Okay, so killing in the killing of the Cash App leader CEO Bob Lee. Hawaii, yeah, that's why. Okay, Hawaii became a U.S. state on August 21st, 1959. Thank you, Miguel. So almost 1960. Free Hawaii. That's what I say. Free Hawaii. Okay, so 1959, it was official like 1959. Okay, yeah. I knew it was like not too long ago. Like there was people still alive for this. Like that's some bullshit right there. Like how do people seriously, even nowadays, like, these kids, I guess they just don't even realize it. And I guess they don't know. Like, I just wish that all these kids knew, like, that's the date that Hawaii became part of the US and they were their own country and stuff. These kids would be like, oh shit. You would, you think when you're younger, you think colonialization is like 1600s, but we just did it in people's lifetimes that are still alive right now. So Jesus Christ. It's the most recent state after Alaska. Okay. I know Les Bones. Miguel is like literally our genius over here. I love it. I'm always here for it. Hawaii occupation began in the 1800s. 1890 was the coup where they killed the queen and started settling. Such bullshit, man. Yeah, they killed the queen. That's right. Man, I would be pissed. I would be freaking pissed. I'd be so mad. I'd be racist against all of white people too, for sure. Cane sugar, of course. Yeah. How did Hawaii become a U.S. state? Cane sugar. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of like what happened in the Bahamas too. We found out, sugar farming in the Bahamas and started, slaving up people out there and colonializing out there. And now look at the Bahamas. It's pretty much tourist central, They make movies about going touristy there. So it makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. Sugar does it. I think Alaska became a state around the same time as Hawaii. Okay. Yeah, Lana. Well, Lana is from Hawaii, so she is our genius, our Hawaiian genius. Yeah, same year, but in January. Oh, is when Alaska became? Oh. See, I did not know that. Good to know. I mean, I knew Alaska was like within the last 150 years. I just didn't know it was around the same time as Hawaii as well. Damn. I mean, aren't we still like working on Somalia down there too? Like what we're doing with Somalia? Oh, it's brutal. And their culture too in Somalia, the genital mutilation down in Somalia, that's brutal out there. I've been watching that. There's a girl that's going viral on TikTok talking about the culture of genital mutilation in Somalia. I feel so bad. She even like made a pillow to show you what it looks like and like what it's like to have a period on it and like the experience of going through it, man. Oh, it's so sad. Ukraine is next. Yeah, right. Ukraine is definitely next. I mean, I guess, yeah, you're right. We're still colonializing everywhere. So I don't even know why I'm shocked. All right. Since we're talking about colonialism, I'm going to try to segue right here. Murder, colonialism, murder. Same. Let's segue. We occupy 1/3 of Syria, the part with the oil and the wheat. We sure as hell do. Still got some boots on the ground out there. Take it. I think Trump even said that himself. He's like, when we were pulling out of Syria, I think Trump was saying like, we still got boots on the ground. We're gonna keep the oil. And then it was like a Freudian slip. And then he's like, we're going to protect the oil there. So yeah, we definitely still have like 1/3 of Syria. So red rum. I know I'm like the worst at segues. I'm just like, okay, next. And you guys are I know I'm like 30 seconds ahead of you guys while I'm talking. So I'm always like, oh wait, you guys are just still up in here talking about it. Oops. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, let's get in on this one. All right, so the killing of the Cash App CEO, Bob Lee. See how this goes. 10 minutes. I can make this a little bit fast, right?
Tech executive has reportedly been arrested for the stabbing murder of Cash App founder Bob Lee. Mission Local reports that the police were, quote, dispatched to Emeryville, California, with a warrant to arrest a man named Nima Momini. The name and Emeryville address SVPD officers traveled to match the identity of the owner of another tech company called Expand IT. Law enforcement told Mission Local that Lee and the suspect were driving together in San Francisco on April 4th, and, quote, some sort of confrontation ensued in the car and continued after Lee left the vehicle. The car was reportedly registered to the suspect.
Sources say that Lee was stabbed at least twice and that the murder weapon was recovered near the area where the stabbing occurred. So it appears they were traveling together and knew each other. And then at that point it becomes speculation that maybe some kind of argument or disagreement broke out. We don't know very much about Nima Momeni, the alleged killer. He is also in tech. Tried to look up what Expand IT does. It sounds pretty non-specific tech stuff.
Tech stuff.
So anyway, he has been arrested. This is interesting because so Bob Lee left Silicon Valley, moved to Miami because of, he said this on the record, because of the crime concerns he had about what's happening in California. And he was stabbed to death in Miami. So that people are pointing out to that, how ironic that is. And then, but it turns out, so this is not a random crime the other way.
Right. So,
Excuse me, he moved to Miami, went back to San Francisco.
So there has been a whole discourse since the murder of Bob Lee about how people who have these concerns about the safety of San Francisco are completely vindicated, that there was a kind of like predictive value of his concerns, and that there was something, some kind of tragic not poetic, but like some tragic validation of his worldview here. Of course, the pushback has been, and this is from a CNN piece following the murder, that San Francisco, whatever you think about it, however it presents, has less violent crime and lower homicide rates
not using a gun,
other cities of a similar size. This is just a big city issue. But all of that aside, whatever you think about the rightness or wrongness of the assessment of San Francisco,
it's not a random attack.
I'll see myself out on that one. Oh, did I mess up that bad to where now I'm not even allowed to watch the video? Let's watch Jon Stewart next. Come on. I wish I could watch Jon Stewart more online, but I get copyrights every time they do the Jon Stewart thing. Let me reload this. Jesus Christ.
It goes to show you should always wait for more.
I agree absolutely. When I watch these people like The Hill or The Breaking Points, I watch it mainly to see what the guys say, because I'm more interested in what they say, because I already know what like Brianna and Crystal Ball are gonna say. I already know. Absolutely already know. But Sagar and this guy, they kind of throw me off for a loop every once in a while, and I kind of enjoy watching them and seeing what they have to say in response to that. This is something that we've definitely needed. I wish there could be like more of a independent voice in these kind of atmospheres, maybe like a third outsider perspective than these two, because he still hits those. Him and Sagar still hit those like Republican talking points every once in a while. And plus Sagar has actually worked in the Republican Party during actual like presidential administrations and stuff. So there is some shitlibbery there. But yeah, Ong got right there with you. Yeah. Exactly. I like to hear the right-wing POV. Yeah. I know. We're just wait till I think I'll do this next after this one's done. Tucker, man. I really am starting to like to watch Tucker just because he'll get one little thing correct, but then like everything else he talks about is like, whoa, dude, whoa, like whoa. Like I know in the academic and like university world there's like all this, you know, big hoopla and or not big hoopla, but this huge needed conversation about the trans community and stuff. But when Tucker goes on, man, he goes off about like how the trans community are playing God and all this stuff. It's wild what like Tucker says. Like I'm just like, whoa, dude, whoa at certain points. Yeah, same. Okay, good. Tucker gets things correctly occasionally, but for the wrong reasons. Yeah, exactly. Like he'll get one tiny little point correct, but then like everything else is just like, you really just said this right now. Like, holy shit, dude. But damn, one little thing out of the whole entire thing. Yeah, it's wild.
Just opining. It's an odd situation. Yeah. Honestly, even as presented for a stabbing in a car involving people who know each other. So we'll have to learn obviously more about, you know, what went into this, who this guy is. It's, you know, was there drugs involved? Was there a psychiatric issue, et cetera? But yes, it is interesting because of how much people pounced on the and the fact that he had left. And then so he was visiting, I think, for a work trip. He was back in the area. And it's very sad. He's married. He has young kids. I mean, obviously murder, sad anyway. But I know the family was very broken up about it. Horrific kind of death.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm trying to go back through and to see the kind of commentary that was happening about this before today. Michelle Tandler, a kind of conservative leading commentator who has been the focus of a lot of conversation this week because of a TikTok that she did, that's another story, tweeted out on April 7th that there's a disturbing crime wave has hit San Francisco this week. Tech leader Bob Lee was stabbed to death, cyclist Ethan Boyce was killed by a speeding car, and former fire commissioner Don Carmigiani was brutally beaten by homeless addicts. If this isn't a wake-up call, what will be? You know, and that's very indicative of the tenor of a lot of the commentator. Now, of course, a lot of progressives and liberals are now saying, I told you so in the other direction, that, you know, but this is a problem. I think too often that people's anecdotal experiences are used to make broader claims about.
Side note, I just got to say, I really love her braids. I'm so jealous, man. Like without cultural appropriating, I really wish I could have braids. I think braids are just so cool. I think they're the neatest. I'm so jealous. I just noticed she's been like, you know, wearing her hair naturally for so long. And then I just now noticed that she got her hair braided. It looks so good. I love that shit. I want braids so bad.
Safety levels in cities. And I do think there's absolutely.
I want to do like the Nordic braids. That would be really cool. Like those Viking braids. A
proliferation of
that way I won't like, you know, cultural appropriate.
Blossom, I think, at least in DC cool, during COVID, there were so many tents were everywhere, and it's very easy to use evidence of that as a correlation with broader crime trends, and sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. But I do think it's very easy to weaponize your individualized experiences, especially in urban environments where people are so concentrated.
Like a day for like a day or two last week just braiding your hair. Oh man. That's so cool. When I heard when you said last week when you were braiding your hair, I was just like, man, in my head, I didn't say anything, but I was like, I wish I could braid my hair. I want to so bad. Even if they're just like these tiny little ones, you know, so it doesn't even look like they're braids, just like this thin, you know, just super thin or something. Oh man, that'd be so fucking cool. One day. You want hair to braid, Desert? Oh, flies out just to braid. I know, that would be so cool. I would fly you out just to braid my hair. It'd be so much fun. One day I'll have my hair braided. Maybe one day. I've been wanting it for so long. I just never had any like the money to do it, man. Because some places they'll charge like a couple $100 because it takes so long to braid the hair. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's so hard. So hard. And it takes forever. I mean, I could just imagine your fingers, the kind of like arthritis kind of pain that could come from all of that, just like the minute back and forth of having to, oh, I couldn't imagine. My hands just get tired from trying to like French braid my hair back. I couldn't imagine sitting there for hours and hours, just over and over and over, all the way around the head. Whew, it's some fucking work.
And you see so much more of what's going on in other people's lives than you do in rural or suburban environments, and then make political claims that don't necessarily pan out.
You know, to be clear, we should try to bring down the crime rate, the murder rate, regardless
everywhere.
of everywhere, and regardless of if you're being attacked by random strangers or by people. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. A violent attack is a violent attack, whether it's someone you know, whether it's some random person, etc. So, we need to know more about the circumstances that went into this.
Sure.
But it would be ideally we would bring down the crime rate, the violence rate, regardless. It's not really like, oh, well, it was known to him. It's still doesn't make any difference to him or his family.
Sure.
I guess if people feel like it's less likely to happen to them.
That's the thing that causes people similarly. I think that the opposite.
I just looked up Margaret Kimberly, like the gray braids. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, no, I just found a new love. Margaret Kimberly's hair is amazing. Yeah, I'm digging it. I'm totally digging Margaret Kimberly's hair for sure. Don't be afraid to get it. White girls get it all the time. I know. I shouldn't be afraid. There's just gonna be that one person that's gonna be like, "Bitch, you white," and I'm gonna be like, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's what I heard too. It hurts. Yeah, it hurt. And you have a car crash injury. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Margaret Kimberly, man. Go check her out. Her braids are the shit.
That is exactly why
we're like supposed to be learning about Cash App's like leader getting murdered over here, and we're talking about braids. I love it. I'm here for it.
You know, I'm trying to find a word that isn't a value judgment, because I think it's completely fair and legitimate to be concerned about violent crime wherever you live. But I do think that there is this, I got to say, as someone who grew up in a much less safe place, growing up overseas, spending a lot of time in Kenya where there are a lot of carjackings and kind of poverty-based crimes like that, when there's a huge income disparity between expats and the local population, stuff like that happens. My expectations of safety, I've noticed that when I came back to the United States 6 months later, 9/11 happened. Like, my expectations of safety have always been different that I noticed from some of my American peers who've never been in a situation where you're kind of routinely on edge. And I'm not saying that's good. Obviously, it's not. I don't want people to live in a world where they're constantly on the lookout for carjackings and triple checking if their door is locked and speeding up through intersections, because I mean that is obviously not an ideal scenario. But I do sometimes think our relative safety here makes us very vulnerable to a certain kind of fear mongering, because these things just aren't supposed to happen to me, which is also why these kind of instances of random violence like this are terrifying. You know, if someone who's rich and successful like Bob Lee can be murdered, what chance do I have? And then there's this kind of sick, sad relief when you realize it's an interpersonal dispute and not a broader trend.
Well, look, it used to be the case that you could, definitively, I mean, you can still say it. It's gotten a little bit more confusing. You could point to a time in the past, right? The violence rate, the gun violence rate in America from the period of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, all the way up to, like, the drop begins, it's very abrupt. It begins in like 1993. It was very high, and then there was an extreme decrease in the level of violence from the mid to late 90s through the odds. And still, compared to where we were in the 80s and early 90s, we are way below that. So it used to be the case, but more definitively, that all the reporting about crime was missing. Like, most people always thought crime was going up, when if you looked at statistics on a comparison to the world in which our parents and grandparents grew up, crime has dropped like 50%.
There was some interesting
massive reduction.
Potential causes. I mean, there was one 2022 study that said that
conditioning,
7
lead,
to 8 to 28% of the fall in homicide rates could be attributed to just getting unleaded gasoline.
That was a theory. Cities, there were some places where low-income people didn't have access to air conditioning until now. That's much more ubiquitous, and that literally cools tempers. It's wild to think through some of these things. With COVID, with various things in the last few years, it's not everywhere. And it's again still nowhere close to where it was in Philadelphia. It is pretty bad. I've looked at the statistics. It's basically equivalent to where they were back then, but it's not true everywhere. So it's a little confusing. So we got to be careful how we describe these things. But in some ways, in some places, there has been an uptick in property crimes and violent crimes. Most places not anywhere near where it used to be in the 80s, although that's not.
Yeah, well, now we know why they keep it so cool in this room, Robbie.
So that you don't murder me?
Or vice versa.
Never.
Oh, make a joke
if I had to replace another host.
Yeah, so see, like the whole thing, they didn't even like right there at the end, they didn't even talk about the fact that people are like, all over Twitter are talking about how this guy took in immigrants and he'll always keep immigrants, and this guy was an immigrant and don't let immigrants in. They didn't even bring up that whole part of it. So that was the weird part. But yeah, I don't understand where people are all about, if it could happen to this guy, then, obviously, or then it could happen to me or something like that, kind of stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure we all walk around a little nervous, like something could happen to us at all times. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure people get into a car worrying about that the police can shoot them and things like that. So, for sure yeah. All right, so here's that Tucker Carlson thing. So this one is, okay, so the title of it is These Politicians Are Mimicking Civil Rights Leaders, which this is the part where I was like, okay, how these politicians and stuff, the Democrats, like some of them, the way they've been talking recently and stuff is kind of been a little bit on the weird side. I don't know where it's coming from. It's kind of strange, which I agree with him on that. But everything else, like he was saying in this episode, man, was like just off the hook. Like saying that the way that they were talking is them being transgendered into being that color or something like that, and that they're playing God. The way that, because he did this last week too, and I haven't watched him in a couple of days because I don't know why, but then I watched this again last night and I'm like, he's still going around saying that trans people are playing God, and it just creeps me out when he does that, because I'm like, do you not realize that the conservatives have been playing God forever? I mean, you guys hung witches or people you thought were witches. You hang people of color. You had concentration camps where people died. You still have the death penalty. Like, who the fuck is playing God here for real? Just because you're changing your private parts doesn't mean that you're playing God and that you're changing biology as we know it and blah blah blah. Like the way he just fear mongers and makes it makes the trans community just seem like this evil people, like these evil demons that just want to play God and take over and stuff. It's crazy. But I'm gonna have to agree with him on this. These politicians are saying and talking in some weird ass fucking ways, but we'll see. We'll watch it and we'll go.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Once you decide that human beings are gods with the power to rewrite history, biology, and nature, the power to shape reality.
You're gonna go get some syrup in your Sprite, Brandy? Get it? Man, you're making me want to get a Sprite and try it out. I think I've tried it with something like Sprite and it wasn't good, but I'm not sure. Maybe I fucked up. I'm always, like I said, I can't cook. So I'm pretty sure mixing up some syrup with some soda, basics tincture mixing, I could fuck it up for sure. So I don't know, but have some fun with that. I'll join you. I've got my pen today, so exactly. We'll get stoned together and make fun of Tucker. Yeah, she's got the THC cherry limeade syrup. I have the same exact thing. I don't know if your bottle is 1,000 milligrams. Mine's 1,000 milligrams. So I put, I was saying, what was it yesterday with Warren? I put 20 milligrams in and it doesn't do shit for me. So I feel like I've got to put 40 milligrams, but then wouldn't that be an overabundance of syrup in a soda? I feel like it would be too much, and that's maybe what's wrong with mine. But yeah, I think we have the same syrup. I'm pretty damn sure. I think what I'll do tomorrow, if you come to the show and if you come back, which you all probably most likely will, because you're Brandy and I love you. I'll have it ready right here on the side of the table, and I'll show it to you guys tomorrow, so that way you can see if you got the same one. Because that's cool. When you said THC cherry limeade syrup, I'm like, holy fuck, I've literally have been complaining for like the last 2 months about mine. So I need to figure out how to work it right. I need you to teach me how to do it because I'm still new to the syrup stuff. Usually I'll just go to like the dispensary and buy the soda itself. And it's already a soda. It's a THC soda. So getting the syrup and having to do it myself, I'm totally lost. So like I said yesterday, all I've been doing is literally putting it into like, you know, the little medicine cups that you get for like NyQuil and stuff. I've been putting the syrup into one of those cups and then taking it like a shot. But it literally to me tastes like this like lime cherry Robitussin, and it's disgusting. It is the fucking worst, and I can't handle it. It's so gross. And then it doesn't do anything to me. I don't feel anything. So maybe I'm immune. I'm not sure. Anyway, so we'll talk about it, Brandy. All right. Here's the title too. I'm like right in front of the word. You can't see, but here at the bottom it says anything is possible once men become gods. Because men transitioning into women is the only thing that's going on. Because there's no women that are transitioning into men at all. There's no trans men, you know. Even though, you know, if you guys have been watching me for a year, you guys would know that, you know, I used to have my best friend Daniel on. And Daniel, my best friend, is a trans man. So, you know, it's just so funny. They're like, let's omit the fact that there are other trans and let's just talk about the trans women because that's, you know, men becoming gods to him. So, yeah. Edibles barely work on you too. Yeah. See, man, makes me so mad. So mad. All right.
There's no reason to stop at sex changes. Transgenderism is certainly faddish at the moment. None of us can stop talking about it. But men magically morphing into women is not the final stage of anything. Instead, it's the first of many similar movements that are on the way inevitably. And the few visionaries who have grasped this obvious truth, weirdly, have not been welcomed by Blue America. They have been mocked and derided, as prophets always are. A few years ago, for example,
as prophets always are. So the people like Jordan Peterson, Tim Pool, the people that are going around saying that transgenderism is the devil and it's evil incarnate, you know, are prophets to this guy, you know, because people can't go and just, you know, regular trans people just can't go and live their lives, I guess, is the problem.
A blonde woman from Montana called Rachel Dolezal declared that she was black because she decided that she was black.
And then here's the excuse that he does. Here's the excuse that he did. The one lady from like years ago, barely any of us remember this woman. Like we didn't even know about this woman. I personally didn't even know about this woman until she was called out for doing the whole blackface thing, pretending like she's a black person. But out of all the excuses of like, you know, quote unquote, you know, liberals doing quote unquote blackfacing, which he's even using like, you know, blackfacing as like words as like trans words, like, you know, you can transition, you know, like he was saying right now, men transitioning into women is just the beginning of it. So this is his setup point for this episode of, you know, now transitioning is going to be people transitioning into black or people transitioning into other things, mostly into transitioning into black is what he's going to say, which is crazy, absolutely crazy, the argument that he's making with this. Just because of the way that these certain politicians are talking. It's crazy. Have you heard about transhumanism and like disassociating from bodies for tech and med profits? I have been hearing about like, yeah, like the Black Mirror type stuff, like uploading consciousness into AI and stuff. Yeah, I've been hearing a little bit about all that. I'm still trying to learn like the Chat GPT stuff. And so like I mean, I know like people in Sweden have like chips already, like the culture is already okay with having chips in your hand to do everything. So like the digital currency, the digital chip culture in like Sweden or Switzerland or something like that. Yeah, definitely have been hearing about that. But I mean, that's something that we could be scared about, you know. This woman back in the day claiming that she, you know, she was part black, like this is like the worst example that this guy, that Tucker could be going for. Yeah, we could be talking about how people be putting chips in their fucking hands.
Rachel Dolezal's lived experience. But she was not greeted as a liberator. She was almost immediately booed off the stage and then she disappeared. And yet, tellingly, none of the people yelling at Rachel Dolezal ever explained why she couldn't be black. Why not? In this country, you can change your sex, but not your race? Really? How does that work?
How does that work? Because you can't change your race. You can't. But you can medically change your sex. He like dumbs it down, like he pretends like he doesn't understand the difference of changing your sex to changing your race. Like that's completely two different things. Are you kidding me? It's so crazy.
Of science are we talking about here? It was not a defensible argument. And so over time, like all indefensible arguments, it will collapse. Someday, the New York Times will give Rachel Dolezal its coveted Glass Ceiling Award for her courage in the face of prejudice. That will happen. But before it does, we'd like to highlight some of the early adopters of our new civic religion, where each of us is God of the universe with utter dominion over nature. These are the trailblazers, the pathfinders, the Daniel Boones of progressive identity politics. One of them is a man called Justin.
So apparently this woman is like the pioneer of progressive identity politics in his eyes. Race is an artificial construct. Absolutely. It's just more melanoma or melanin in your skin, depending on where in the longitude, latitude of the world that you lived in. Yeah, no, absolutely. So it is definitely a social construct. But he's just making it seem like, I don't know. You might be right.
Justin Pearson. Pearson has been in the news recently for helping to facilitate an insurrection at the Tennessee State House. You may have seen.
So now he's going to go off on one of the Tennessee 3 kids. So I'm still trying to figure out if this is real, if this is really that kid, because the kid that we see in the Tennessee 3, I think he's the one with like the big hair with the glasses. This is what he used to look like, I guess. But I swear to God, it doesn't look like the same kid. It really, really doesn't to me. And I wish I could have been like the first person to find out the truth and be like, yeah, no, that's not that kid. But I don't know. I have no idea. It just doesn't look like the same kid. But he is going to make it's not even the point that he's even correct, but it is correct at the same time. Like the points that he's proving here is absolutely ridiculous. But he is going to be correct on how weird these fucking politicians have been talking recently. It's fucking weird. I don't know if you guys have noticed that the way these politicians have been talking, some of them, like Martin Luther King type talking with like the long drawn out end of the word at the end of the sentence kind of thing. It's really weird. I don't know. I am really weirded out by the way that they've been talking recently.
But you may not know what Justin Pearson was like before his transition. Back in 2016.
Before his transition. So apparently he's transitioned. So apparently this one of the Tennessee 3 kid boys, the Justin Pearson one or whatever, is a trans person now because of the way that he talks. The way that he talks, okay? Like, yes, he's talking weird. And I don't understand where all these people are getting this from. These politicians are getting it from. But doesn't make him a trans person. Like this is you just adding more things onto the trans thing to make it sound like it's this woke thing, which is to you guys, which is bad. He's like, you can't, Tucker Carlson, you cannot sit here and change and add on what you think is what trans is and then expect everybody to just be like, okay, yeah, you're right. No, your Fox News watchers might be right, but now your Fox News watchers are dumbed down out there repeating the same talking points online, about to get fucking rickrolled online. So, you know, it's like he tries to keep these people stupid. But they are talking weird.
Earnest young student at Bowdoin, the whitest college in the whitest state in America, a place that costs $60,000 a year for no obvious reason. A rich kid's school.
So
here's what Justin Pearson looked like then as he ran for president of student government.
I'm Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year. One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation? I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices, voices that may be more liberal or more conservative, in order that we can reach a point of sort of the radical middle where conversation and dialogue happens and growth happens. Whaat. Join the People's Pearson campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Gonna
let's
get
chart
you
ourselves
rolled.
to a better future.
I want to bring everyone together, said Justin Pearson, in a voice that if you closed your eyes, you could easily imagine coming from a suburban orthodontist. Justin Pearson wasn't white. That's probably how he got into Bowdoin in the first place. But he did a fantastic...
How is that not racist of him to say that? Like, so universities want to, even private universities want to add more diversity. And so they start, bringing in kids into the schools that, pass the test, that actually can, successfully get into the schools, and let them come in first because they're people of color, to bring in more diversity, because these universities have been majority and only white for a very long time. That if you close that this kid was raised as a whitewashed kid, and as if you close your eyes, you would automatically assume it's a white person, and that he goes to a really private school. How is that? To me, it seems like that was a little racist on Tucker's part right there. I don't know if that's just me, though. It just seemed a little racist to me. I don't know. Maybe it's me. I'm not sure.
Impression of it. What a nice young man. Has he considered the apprenticeship program at Citibank? That was the old Justin Pearson before his transition.
Transition. You hear that? So now he's a trans woman. It was, in your opinion? Okay. That's what I thought, too. I was like, that's a little racist, don't you think, bro? A little racist. So a black kid is actually getting an equal opportunity as white kids have always had, and you're complaining about it and saying that he sounds like a white kid? Okay. Anyway, so now he's going to talk about how Justin talks now, like how he speaks, and saying that he's a trans person because of how he speaks makes him a trans person. He even just said it right there, which he does speak weird. Okay, we're about to hear it. He speaks fucking weird. So do a couple of these other politicians that he's about to put up here. Doesn't make them a trans. Not one bit.
He is now on the floor of the Tennessee State House.
All hope seemed to be lost. Representatives were thrown out of the State House. Democracy seemed to be at its end. Seemed like the NRA and gun lobbyists might win. But that was good news for us. I don't know how long this Saturday in the state of Tennessee might last. But we have good news, folks. We've got good news that Sunday always comes.
Justin Pearson has a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, everyone will do exactly what he wants or else face indictment by the Department of Justice.
What? Face indictment with the Department of Justice unless they do what he wants them to do? This kid literally just faced expulsion from the committee there, like the House committee or whatever it is. When he was an elected official, he was voted in by the people, and they expulsioned him because he was out there with a megaphone with a group of like 10,000 fucking kids protesting against gun violence in schools. And you're going to say, he's going to say this, Tucker's going to say this bullshit, that if you don't do what he wants you to do, then you're going to face expulsion in the DOJ. Like, come on. Yes, he sounds weird. Yes, the kid sounds like Martin Luther King. Yes, obviously he changed his look. He doesn't really look the same anymore. Maybe he's going for a certain thing because he is a politician. So he's going for these kids, they do this like when you have jobs and stuff, or have it becomes a part of your lifestyle, and you're part of your dress and becomes who you are and stuff. And so these kids do this thing, which, yes, he sounds different. He sounds totally different. Sounds a little, fake, whatever. But doesn't mean that he's trans. That's the part that I don't understand, is the trans part with Tucker. Like, you're literally going to add another thing that doesn't belong there into that community, which it's not even that at all. It's like not trans at all. It's just him playing a part or something. I don't know, acting a role, getting into the Martin Luther King mindset. I don't know what he's doing, what this kid is doing, but he's not trans. It's crazy, right?
Justin Pearson has changed quite dramatically, as you can see. He transitioned from a crypto white kid into the modern incarnation of Martin Luther King Jr. himself.
Trans?
It's remarkable, really. But he's not alone in that. You see this all the time. Everybody in the Democratic Party wants to be Martin Luther King at this point. Even Joe Biden, who during the famous March on Washington...
Right, exactly. Like Democrats, yeah, they do this switch thing, you know? It's kind of like when Nancy Pelosi and them wore like the African garbs and then they like went on a knee and shit. It's like that. It's performance. It's theater. They're not transitioning. You know, they're trying to like, you know, familiarize themselves with the person that they're talking to, so they act like them, and it's wild to me. Yeah, I think he's gonna show that one too, where she sounded just like this kid, you know, and then he's gonna show that one time where AOC did the listen, where she acted Latina, and then he's gonna say she transitioned into those things, like she's a trans person because of it. And my Tucker needs some meds. Or when she went Rosie Perez on that, like the listen. He's gonna show those. Those are what he's gonna show. Yeah. Did you watch the Tucker show last night? Are you watching it right now? You're like getting ahead. You're getting ahead of me. God damn it.
Was enjoying the many benefits of life as a college student in a racially segregated state. Now he's MLK. They all are. But you got to ask yourself, as long as we're mimicking civil rights leaders who died almost 60 years ago, why not some variety? You never see politicians transition into, say, Malcolm X.
Ooh.
Why is that? Maybe because Malcolm X didn't talk like a sharecropper. He spoke dignified standard English. He wasn't running a shakedown racket to fleece guilty white liberals.
He spoke dignified English. Like the kid that you were just talking about, Justin, where he was running for president in his school, talked how you would quote unquote call dignified English. You know, the white people, the white kid thing that you're saying, dignified English. Come on. I hate, like, leave Malcolm X's name out of your goddamn mouth, dude. Like, how are you going to sit there and bag on these kids for doing that and then you're going to bring up Malcolm X too? Like, leave him out. Leave him the out of your mouth, bro.
Malcolm X had self-respect, so he despised guilty white liberals, and he said so. He believed in self-improvement. He knew who the enemy was.
Yeah, exactly. Who the enemy was. Us white people. And yeah, he did believe in self-improvement because he couldn't depend on the white people because the white people fucking suck because we're fucking racist. Just exactly how you're acting right now, Tucker. You think that you sitting there defending Malcolm X, if Malcolm X was alive right now, he would really sit there next to you and be like, right on, brother. Like, fuck you. Are you kidding me? He would flip you off, probably spit in your face and tell you to get the fuck on, white boy. Are you kidding me, Tucker? Like, leave Malcolm X out of your goddamn mouth when you're talking about how weird these kids are talking. These kids are talking weird. Oh, fucking well. Like, we can sit here and make fun of these kids for talking weird because they are, without you bringing your white supremacist bullshit ass thought process in here, who you're talking to millions of people who are going to listen to you thinking that you're fucking correct and then going to go spew this out online as if they're correct and then get rickrolled. Fucking, yeah, exactly. He's a clown. It's a clown. It's too easy to dog whistle on Flop's news shows. Yeah. Right, exactly. He hits on something and then goes off the goddamn rails. Like, yeah, these kids are talking weird, but how? Wow, this? Like, all the way to this?
So maybe it's not surprising that Malcolm X is not a popular transition choice in 2023. Al Sharpton, by contrast, is increasingly popular, especially now that he's skinny and has a paying job.
Oh,
Sandy Cortez of Westchester recently pulled off a double transition. Not only did she change sexes, Al Sharpton identifies as a man, but races as well. Here she is unveiling her new self in front of Sharpton's own National Action Network.
I'm proud to be a bartender. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working retail, folding clothes for other people to buy. There is nothing wrong with preparing the food that your neighbors will eat. Oh, girl. There is nothing wrong with driving the buses that take your family to work.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. In other words, yo, my brother, sup? That's not bad for a girl who grew up in an all-white suburb in leafy Westchester County as the daughter of the president of an architectural firm. But don't mention any of that. That's dead naming. These days, she'd like a gin and juice.
Like, there you go again, Tucker. How fucking dare you even bring up the word dead naming as if she's transitioning and she's, you know, some person, black person now, and she's no longer whatever heritage she is because she grew up white, and she's not that heritage. And she talked weird. She obviously has been hanging out with those two Justin kids a little bit too long recently. So she started talking like them. How dare you say that they're transitioning and don't, say that she's this because it's a dead name. He's playing games, but it's gross. This is people take this for serious though, and then they'll go out and repeat and spew the same talking points and laugh about it as if it's a joke. How dare you?
With salsa and frijoles, because Sandy Cortez doesn't just transition once, she keeps transitioning. She's a cutting edge shapeshifter who collects identities the way Imelda Marcos did shoes. So she started life as a privileged white girl, then became a middle-aged black man engaged in the civil rights movement, and then in October, she transformed effortlessly into a Latinx cartoon character. Watch this.
A Latinx cartoon character.
Okay, I got you.
Obviously, he's never seen online stuff. He said he literally compared her doing the listen, which is from the little Hispanic kid that goes, listen, Linda, listen, Linda, listen to his mom, which is a Vine. It's a Vine. It's very popular. But he went and took it and said, I cut you, as if it's the fucking Muslim puppet from Jeff Dunham. Are you goddamn kidding me? A Muslim? You just said that she was a what does he call it? A Latinx cartoon character, and then says right after she does the little Linda listen thing, he says, I cut you, as if she was a Muslim. Okay, dude. People listen to you. We can watch you, right? I kill you. Yeah, it's a meme that Tucker Carlson has no fucking idea about. It is wild to me. Wild. You just mixed in Latin, with Muslim. Are you seriously that fucking dense out there? And he smiles. Look at that smile. Such a beautiful smile. So pretty. So pretty.
You may call that fraudulent. She calls it transitioning. They don't talk.
She doesn't call it transitioning. She ain't transitioning anything. She doesn't. Nobody's transitioning to these things. This guy is insane.
In Westchester County, but she learned this.
Right. I'm not here to defend AOC either, but fuck my life, man. Come on, Tucker. He could have done this so much better. So much better. Just the fact that, maybe they're just being weird. They're trying to be cool, obviously maybe the best, kind of jab at these AOC and these kids that I can think of is they weren't cool in school. So they, they're like chameleons. They put on these different faces to try to blend in with the people that they're around. And so this is how they're acting in certain scenarios, that they think that they can make the biggest, I don't know, biggest news with or something. But it's not trans. How he literally tries to villainize the trans community with this shit. Way to go. Way to make the trans community feel even worse off and belittled and taken attacked by this guy. It's just crazy. He's just
from the very best. Barack Obama paved the way. Obama grew up with his white mother and white grandparents from Kansas. In an apartment in Honolulu, a city that has approximately 0 black people. Then he moved to Indonesia, then California and New York. But at some point, Barack Obama decided he didn't want to be any of the things he actually was, so he transitioned. He became, because you can do this now, an African-American Baptist pastor from Chicago with deep roots in Mississippi. Here's Barack Obama post-transition in December.
Post-transition. The words he's using post-transition. Yeah, Obama's going to sound fucking weird right here, like some pastor, some preacher. This is what they do. This is that chameleon shit. They mask so they can make themselves look cool with other people. It's not transitioning.
Even
in his 70s wasn't tired, I got no excuses. I can't be tired. If the men and women who had to endure the sting of discrimination, the smack of belly clubs, weren't tired. If the folks who had to fight those early fights, those were the tough fights for union rights and voting rights and gay rights and women's rights. If they didn't get tired, you can't be tired.
Barack Obama is sick and tired of being sick and tired. It was the smack of the billy clubs in Honolulu that did it. It was the fire hoses and snarling German shepherds at Harvard Law School. At some point, Obama crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge of his mind and transitioned into Ralph Abernathy, except an atheist and much thinner. But Hillary Clinton was there first. She transitioned when he didn't even know what the word meant. And in some ways, Hillary made an even longer journey. She was identified by an obstetrician at birth as the daughter of an executive from the suburban Midwest. But inside, she always knew she was very different from that. She was trapped inside a body that wasn't hers. But it wasn't until 2007 that Hillary Clinton finally mustered the courage to identify as what she was all along, a politically aware gospel singer from the segregated South. Here she is on the Chitlin Circuit in Alabama.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy.
Performing tonight, ladies and gentlemen, at Constitution Hall. Joe Biden actually was born in a slave state, and as we mentioned, for the first nearly 30 years of his life, enjoyed all the many perks of living in a slave city. But that's not a story that audiences are interested in hearing a lot about at this point. So Joe Biden did what we are all now allowed to do in modern America. He erased his former identity. You saw this recently with the trans admiral. He declared it never happened. You can't know what happened. It's a dead name. And he transitioned into something else. So Joe Biden still grew up in a segregated state, but now he was the one at the back of the bus, feeling the thump of the billy club, the sting of the fire hose. Joe Biden is now black. Watch.
A senator from Florida going after Medicare and Social Security? I tell you what, I don't know where, as they say in Southern, don't know where you all been. Hot damn, boy.
Hot damn.
How does that make him black? That makes no fucking sense.
Damn. And at no time in his life did Joe Biden ever support segregated schools in Delaware, contrary to what Kamala Harris told us during the Democratic debates last time. Kamala Harris has forgotten all about that because it never happened. And in Kamala Harris's case, there's a whole palette of identities to choose from. So here you have someone who is the daughter, technically, or was, who was identified at birth as the daughter of a Jamaican college professor and an Indian college professor who grew up in Canada, in Montreal, Quebec. So actually, Kamala Harris can be essentially anything she wants.
Do.
And 2 years ago, she transitioned and became a baguette-eating, beret-wearing, bicycle-riding French lady. Here she is.
With us in government, we campaign with the plan. Uppercase T, uppercase P, the plan. And then the environment is such that we're expected to defend the plan.
I agree.
In France, we call it fromage and speak in broken English. It's too bad.
I just want to throw it out there really quick, okay? Just really quick. If Tucker wants to go there, all right, with, calling these people trans on the left side because they're, something else. I just want to throw this out there, all right? Republicans, because I'm going to go there. I'm going to go there. Republicans. There's one Republican. This one. He wants to be a turtle. Just saying. Can't say the left doesn't, or the left has transitioning people if you not going to talk about it with the right, all right? You guys have a turtle, okay? This guy wants to be a turtle. Just saying, okay? Next, last one, and yes, I'm going to go there, all right? Y'all have a politician that wants to be a pirate. Sorry, not sorry. Just saying, sounds just as stupid as Tucker Carlson's point, right? That's what I thought. Like, I can go there with your people too, Tucker. Like, what are you gonna do about it? You know, it sounds just as stupid of a point as if you were gonna as the one that you made. So, I had to go there really quick. I really wanted to go there really quick. So, yeah, he could have just saved 20 minutes by just calling politicians a bunch of fake, duplicitous clowns. Exactly. He could have just said the way that they're talking is stupid and it's bullshit and it's weird and you don't understand why the hell they're doing it. Maybe just to be a chameleon, you know, kind of thing, like I was saying. But no, he had to go and villainize trans people and bring trans people into the conversation that had nothing to do with trans people. So, just saying. But if they want to go there, you know, at least I'm not running around trying to transition into a turtle. Just saying. Anyways. I don't know how to segue away from that. That's awesome. Oh, here we go. We got about 30 more minutes, and this is kind of like new news right now. So, you know, all the stuff, the stuff that's been going on in our country with, you know, like Norfolk Southern and, you know, natural disasters happening and train derailments and, you know, the air atmosphere, right? Tucker transitioning into a puddle. For real. Indiana. Nope. Don't start, Miss Lady. I heard the steps. Let the kids come home from school. Jesus Christ. Kay gotta run. Happy rest of the show. Yeah. Good to talk to you. Thank you for hanging out, Ed. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Do you guys got a show today? Let me know if you guys got a show today. I know it's Thursday, so you guys should be having a show, right? Let me know, and I'll tweet it out too when I get off the show here. So Indiana had a recycling center, like a plastic recycling center that caught on fire, and now, you know, Miss Putin's puppet over here is getting angry. So it's still new news. I think it just happened yesterday. So hi, Michael King. Thanks for joining. Yeah, no problem. We still got about 30 more minutes left, and we're just about to get into a new news story. So you're right on time. So we'll bring this up and we will talk about no, not that one. That one. Thank you. The Indiana plastic fire, recycling center fire that's happening right now. And you know how they love to mislead people and say that, you know, there's nothing in the air, everything's safe, even though it's evacuation. It's only around this certain area, even though, you know, you can't really control how, you know, how far air can go. It's crazy to me. It's like they imagine like these areas that have these fires have like these imaginary bubbles around them. So like, you know, I can't get past this point. So you guys are all safe past this point. Are you kidding me? Do you control the air? Do you even know how wind currents operate? Come on. But here we go. Here we go. All these fires and derailments are very sus, right? The fact that nobody is looking into it. Well, the reason why there people are looking into it. It's the problem is that the government doesn't want to overstep their boundaries when it comes to private corporations. So these private corporations are contracting out their own people to go and research whether or not the air quality is safe and stuff like that. And then so they go to the owner of the company that actually had the problem, that hired them in the first place, and say, here's what we had the problem. And then the corporate CEO will be like, no, can't say this. No, can't say this. No, can't say this. You can only say these ones. And that's it. And so they have to go out and say what the corporate owner has to say instead of doing like independent investigations. Like I know I've heard from what I heard, the EPA is here or is there checking it out. But, you know, these alphabet governments like the Environmental Protection Agency is definitely paid off by private companies as well, you know. So corruption is everywhere. We're not going to ever get, you know, the actual real news of what's going on, especially with stuff like this. We just have to understand weather and air currents and how things work and how the air works and how the wind works, and just not listen to those people and realize what's inside of what's this and what, you know, what people are breathing and how serious it is, and just get the people the fuck away. Like they got to get away. But what really makes me sad too is like a lot of these people are like born and raised and their families have been in these homes for generations and they don't want to leave too. So there are some really sad things about this as well. Yeah, targeting food, water. Well, did you see like 18,000 cows died in an explosion at like a farming area? 18,000 cows. There goes meat production for a while. There goes milk production. So that means the prices of those are going to increase because the supply is going to be down, even though the demand is still there. So it's going to happen. All this stuff is going to happen. It's just, yeah, it's constant. Like I tell everybody every day, America is a dying empire. It's crazy.
Recycling plant forced thousands of residents in Indiana.
It does
to
it a lot
evacuate
this
their
year.
homes.
Yeah, I agree.
Video from the scene shows a plume
More
of black smoke.
Yeah, and it
rising
could
from the
be. It could
facility.
be either or. More coverage, or we're just seeing a lot more, or it's happening a lot more. Either way, it's bad. It's really, really bad.
Which stored plastics. Officials have told residents the air
Oh,
is
you're from
safe.
Scotland. Thanks for stopping by from Scotland. Hey, that's way cool. How awesome. That's so awesome. I love Scotland.
Bring in Indiana's state fire marshal, Steve Jones now. Steve, the local fire chief has said the recycling plant was filled floor to ceiling with plastics. Why wasn't this flagged as a fire risk sooner?
Well, I believe that they had addressed that. The locals are probably more apt to tell about the particulars, but there definitely was access problems for the fire department in order to access the site to people.
So they're saying that this building was like covered from like floor to top to ceiling with plastic because it was like a plastic recycling center. So it was just filled with plastic. And that's all the plastics that are burning in that building. That is insanely huge. That is absolutely enormous.
Extinguish this fire.
How long do you expect this to continue burning?
They made pretty good impact on it today. So it'll probably be another few days burning, and hopefully it will dramatically increase over time. The firefighters have really worked hard today to be able to get access into the site and be able to get it extinguished. It's just it's a very manpower intensive on the fire department side in order to make an impact on this fire.
A few days sounds like a long time to be battling a fire. What makes this so challenging?
Well, there's only one way into that site, and the roads that were there were full of plastic storage. And so the fire engines, fire trucks, ladder trucks could not get access back into the property. And so today has been just a day of bulldozers pushing things out of the way, letting the firefighters put the fire out, and then bringing the bulldozers in again and just keep working at it to push into the site. So they've made great impact on it today, and that will continue through the night and into tomorrow.
I think the question a lot of people in Indiana are wondering right now, when and how will they know that it's safe to return home?
EPA is there. The health department.
What's up, Rutherford Maplethorpe? Thanks for coming by. Ground beef has gone up 50% since CV. It's on purpose. Yeah, of course. They've been price gouging anything little that goes on. They purposely price gouge. It's nuts. The littlest, tiniest thing. Like I live here in Southern California, and I live right by the main freeway that heads to Vegas. They call it the Cajon Pass. It's the 15 freeway. It's like the main road heading to Vegas, and it gets very, 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 very packed every weekend. But right before spring break out here in California, right, like the weekend of spring break, gas prices just shot through the roof. For no goddamn reason, just because the gas companies knew that there were going to be more cars on the road because spring break and people are heading out to Vegas and Tahoe and the lakes out there and stuff like that. So they do this on purpose. Absolutely. It drives me insane. Absolutely insane. Thanks, Michael. Love my channel. Been offline for a while. Well, thank you for coming back. Awesome. I super appreciate you with the 5. Is that euros or 5 pounds? I think that's euros. That's so cool. Thank you. Are you from from UK? That's awesome. Thank you. I'm gonna leave that up for a little bit as a big thank you while we finish playing this. UK being raved for gas electric prices. I was just talking to a really close friend of mine, Ellis Winningham, the other day, and he's back out in the UK right now, and he's saying that, like NHS is out, your guys' NIH, I believe, is probably in trouble I heard your guys' new prime minister, Rishi Sunak, isn't, that great as well. Just another libtard, kind of like a Biden, but younger, maybe like an Obama repeat or something. That's what I've been hearing too. But I would be I would be holding on to the NHS as long as I can. I want to move to England. That's where I want to go to. So my husband's grandparents already live out there as it is. So I know at some point in my life I'll probably be going out there, which I can't wait. I'm so excited. England sounds fun. So Scotland and you're from, oh yeah, that's right. You're from Scotland. That's right. Pounds. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, NHS is dying. Yeah, he's a billionaire who doesn't care about normal people. Exactly. That's what I've been hearing too. And I did like a little cut a quote unquote hit piece on him and found out, yeah, he's like a little rich boy. Same with his wife too. Like his wife is like super, super rich as well. That's crazy.
Monitoring. And
just goes to show that capitalism in every country is the same. It's just super corrupted. Nothing's ever, either it's going to fall, like Ed says, into the volcano party, or, it's just going to continue to grow and ruin people's lives.
Right now, we advise people down.
Scotland is trying to become independent again. You're a rich country, and England takes all your money, all the money from oil. Yeah. Yep. They definitely do that. That's right. I'm like totally forgot that you just said you were in Scotland. I'm so sorry. I feel like I swear I've had like 3 idiot moments today. Thanks guys for like hanging around, sticking with me with this. My brain is like not on full today.
Out of it. And so as EPA and the health department does air monitoring, and we're able to continue to make an impact and get this fire extinguishing, things will begin to improve.
And Steve, real quick before we let you go, given that this was a situation that was
I got another one
problem,
too. We'll watch the other video because this is the one that I saw last night. I was like, oh shit, you guys are like fucked up telling people certain things. Is like the breaking news, like the main nightly news of all the different stuff.
Good evening and welcome. Residents of another small American town are tonight trying to comprehend the danger they face from a noxious cloud of burning materials that have forced up to 2,000 people to flee their homes. Multiple fires burning right now in Richmond, Indiana, on a 14-acre former factory site. The fires fueled by plastic stored on the site. The fires are spewing an ominous column of black smoke, the dangerous plume captured on weather radar and satellite images. Tonight, U.S. Environmental Protection Agency teams are on the ground measuring the air, trying to learn the level of danger. Maggie Vespa is there for us tonight.
A billowing plume of hazardous black smoke hangs over Richmond, Indiana tonight.
Spreading fast.
After a former plastics recycling plant went up in flames Tuesday.
We got one way into this fire.
A hurdle for firefighters navigating the 175,000 square foot site, semi-trailers and buildings packed with plastic, which they say acts as pure fuel.
The entire complex is either burning or has burned. And we're looking at close to 14 acres worth of plastic.
There were no serious injuries, but the toxic inferno forced more than 1,500 people.
No serious injuries yet.
Homes, local schools closed today.
The evacuation zone covers a half-mile radius around that fire. Driving in, we saw the smoke roughly 20 miles out, and now we're a mile back, and this is our view.
Right. So they're saying that if, from what I heard, somebody was saying, if you see the smoke, you're close enough to smell it and breathe it. So if that lady's saying 20 miles out, 1 mile out is still breathing the stuff, why is the evacuation zone only a half a mile wide around in radius? It's because private companies, yay, they don't care.
Not doing so well.
Christina Cox's home is just 200 feet from the plant.
How scared were you?
Oh my God, I've never been that scared. I was in tears. I bet it'll take that whole building out.
She shot this video before fleeing with family photos and her cat.
My home is here, and I don't want to lose my home. I've never laid my head down and cried as much as I did yesterday.
The EPA says it has detected particulate matter from the fire, the agency monitoring for cancer-causing toxins. So far, officials say none have been identified. Meanwhile, city officials are blasting the site's owner.
This business owner had previously been cited by our Unsafe Building Commission and given an order to clean up the property. That order was ignored.
NBC News.
The order was ignored, which means that the government didn't do anything more to make sure that that was safe. So yes, I mean, you're right, Michael. Like, you know, it feels like it's targeted because a lot of the stuff that happens, like a lot of this kind of stuff that happens where regulations aren't being held to account by these owners, you know, any kind of cleanup or health around the community because of these corporate CEOs making toxic environments and stuff. It's usually in poor communities. So like these companies will, you know, find and target like these poor communities knowing that they're too poor to fight against it. And they'll bring their like toxic building, polluting businesses there to those areas, knowing full well that the people can't do anything about it because they're poor, they're low income. And so this is what happens, you know, this is the kind of thing. So yeah, it does. It feels very targeted because a lot of the stuff that these corporate owners and CEOs do is put their leftovers in these poor communities, and then accidents and shit like this happen. Which, yeah, this company should be held to account, just like Norfolk Southern should be held to account.
Reached out to the last known company to operate the plant. So far, no response. And tonight, there's no word on when residents will be able to return home, with the fire expected to burn for days.
So Maggie, how
Right.
official?
Wouldn't expect to return home. These people are wanting to know when they're going to return home. That fire, that smoke has completely engulfed these people's houses with plastic and whatever else, the byproduct of lighting it on fire and turning it into smoke. This is bad. This is going to be in everything, just like what happened with East Palestine. It's going to be in the air. It's going to be all over their house and their walls and their furniture and their vehicles and everything. It's going to be touching everything.
Officials advising people there to stay safe through this.
And so Leicester officials say areas outside the evacuation zone are safe, though they do recommend wearing masks within a...
Then how are you going to call it safe if you do recommend wearing masks? Stop fucking lying to the people. They are not safe. No, but how dare her? Like, I hate the officials say that it's safe. No, it's not. It is not.
In proximity of the plant. At the same time, people have been reporting pieces
That's like when they told us when it snowed out here and we were buried in like 8 to 10 feet of snow. They're like, stay in your house. It's safe. Like, bro, we're starving here. We're all running out of food, yo. And then they go on the news and they're like, just stay in your homes and stay safe. Fuck you. We're fucking dying around here, bitch.
of debris, like pieces of the roof or walls.
Yeah, right. Here we go with the
floating into
mask
their yards
stuff again.
miles away. And officials say that debris could contain asbestos. And they're urging people...
Asbestos. Yeah, so there it is. Asbestos. They're saying like pieces of like plastics and metal and stuff are like, they are finding them on their, people are finding pieces of burnt stuff like that on their yards over a mile away from this area that's burning. And they're like, don't pick it up. It might have asbestos in it. Then why the fuck are they still there? Why haven't you evacuated those people? Are you, these guys have got to be fucking kidding me. I just can't believe the stupidity of the government and like the willingness to act like this and treat these people like this just because they're low income communities right here.
Not to touch it. Lester.
Maggie,
Don't touch it.
you. In Louisville, the desk.
Gross. Fucking gross. Oh, it makes me so angry. Like so angry to see that kind of stuff. And see the way that the government handles it to the people. It's disgusting to me. All right. I think that's all I've got for today. Gets you angry? Yeah. Thanks. You feel for Americans? Thank you. Yeah, I know. The things that we have to deal with. And it's not like, you know, we don't see it, because we see it. Obviously, we're seeing it. You know, I'm an American. I'm seeing it. You guys, some of you guys in here on the audience are American. You're seeing it. And we see it. It's happening right in front of our faces. I'm just waiting for everybody to get angry enough to where we can all start protesting together. And this, all of it. Right, exactly. Yeah. No, I totally agree. And that's what sucks is like every day is like 10 new things that happen to us that's shitty. And it's like something happened really shitty in another country and it's to hide the fact that they're like passing bills that end up ruining us, that don't benefit us regular people. Yeah, it's always manipulation, always being things being thrown at us that we're not ready for and man, yeah. We're pawns in their chess game in America. So yep, it's totally fucked up. Never ends. Never ends. All right. That's all I've got for today, you guys. I could do another one, but then I'd be going over. And I think that's all I had. I had something about, about the Dalai Lama. I guess from what I've been reading from people that are like Tibetan recently, is like that is their culture. To suck on tongues? I don't know. I guess it is their culture. And now because all of this stuff has been getting out into the news and people are getting grossed out by it, people like Tibetan religious people who go to the Dalai Lama and look up to him as like a leader, whatever, or like saying that they're afraid to even ask the Dalai Lama to do that stuff and play with kids anymore because they're afraid of the backlash from it. And to them, it's like something that's like holy and playful and it's weird. It's weird. Definitely feels like there are powers at work trying to destroy your great country. Great country. Ugh. Maybe the idea might have been great, but they're not even that great because it was still based off of slavery. I mean, our original constitution calls like people of color like 1/3 a man. So I wouldn't say, and women too, the way that they treated women, I wouldn't say our country's great. Nah. Yeah, the whole suck on tongue thing, the Dalai Lama sucking on the tongue thing with the kid that's all over the news. Somebody on Facebook like posted up this whole ass fucking thing about it. And I looked through her profile and she actually is from that country and is, it used to be great before 9/11. Maybe for white people it was all right. Yeah, so I guess like the Dalai Lama here, I'll show it really quick before we get off of here because I got a little bit of time. So the Dalai Lama like asked had like a little kid in front of him. He gave him a kiss on the lips and then he stuck out his tongue and he said, "Suck my tongue" to the little kid. And the internet's all up in a hoopla about it, saying it's disgusting, it's gross, it's, like perverted and blah, blah, blah. So this person I just was scrolling and I found this person's like getting shared all over Facebook right now. But I did look through her profile. She does look like she's from that country. That is her religion. She does look up to the Dalai Lama. And so this is what she is saying. She says, "No apology was ever needed from His Holiness. No apology, no explanation, no statement. Because pure, unadulterated acts of love, faith, and compassion do not require any apology. Because an utuk, which is a foreheads touching to represent pure love, respect in our culture, does not require an apology. Because a kiss or a po on the lips given by elders to little children and by young children to elders is common in our culture and another sign of pure, unabashed love. Until, of course, you superimpose your own hypersexualized views and cultures or negative experience on everything and view every act of pure love through that lens. In such an instance, even the sight of a grandfather kissing his own grandson will be misconstrued as child abuse. Because requesting His Holiness to blow into the face of a young child or an adult, words that would be horribly misconstrued in any other culture, are in our culture the very reason for hope. Hope for parents with sick children, peace of mind for so many with a dying parent or a loved one as they seek one last audience and blow with His Holiness before he or she passes. Blow on my face is words or an act so pure in the Tibetan world that are so very different in every other world. For the word blow or the act of blowing represents hope and faith and peace and contentment and fulfillment and compassion and kindness in our culture and to our people. Words, acts that would have never been seen as such to those who have not an ounce of understanding in the Tibetan way of life, nor care to know or understand. And likewise, the words Nagi Che Lejip, such a common playful refrain by Tibetan elders and so innocent sounding in Tibetan, but not so when translated into English as suck my tongue. So to reiterate, no apology was ever needed from His Holiness, irrespective of how sordid the minds of those who perceive a culture and a purity that their minds can never ever fathom as possible of existence in this world of tremendous hate and angst and lust and malicious intent. Instead, the world owes the Tibetan world and His Holiness, who is the very epicenter of that world, an apology, a deep, heartfelt apology for the unprecedented, unwarranted assault and attack on everything we hold dear. The attacks on His Holiness and the ease with which so-called woke people have jumped to conclusions have been deeply, deeply, deeply hurtful for me and millions across the world. But mainly for so many Tibetans like my 77-year-old mother who weeps through the day and has lost sleep for the past few days because of this vicious, vitriolic, targeted attack on His Holiness, has been the worst attack so far that she and so many like her have known in their nearly 8-9 decade-long years of existence for her. This, she told me as she called me, weeping, unable to sleep past midnight, has been the worst attack so far in the Tibetan faith and the Tibetan way of life. She's right, for this is a blatant attack on everything the Tibetan world holds dear. Our culture, our way of life, our innocence, our humor, our unabashed optimism, our resilience, our naivety, and our faith. As a Tibetan mother of 3 children, 2 of whom have special needs, my deepest fear now is that the incident will so drastically alter our Tibetan world and the Tibetan way of life that tomorrow, even if I were to request His Holiness once again, as I have done in the past, to blow into my daughters' faces so that they will never be so privileged. And my fear is that it won't stop there. My fear is that tomorrow, so many other Tibetan parents like us will never have the opportunity ever again for their children to receive the blessings from and witness the pure, unabashed acts of compassion and love by any other spiritual leader within the Tibetan Buddhist community ever again. All because one day the world decided to view an incident such a pure, unadulterated act of love, compassion, and faith in our culture through their base-minded lens. So again, to emphasize, no apology. Okay. It is weird making an excuse for pedophilia like mainstream media with so many things trying to normalize it, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I say too. Like, I mean, still, okay, I understand that's part of your culture, but my culture says that's gross. So I don't know what you want me to say about that. It was really interesting, actually. I'm trying to find somebody had put into the comments section of that that I thought was really interesting too. It was something about the sucking of the tongue part, because it doesn't say anything in there about the sucking. It says the blowing of the face, which, like, if you had, like, let's say, a monk like the Dalai Lama going around to people who are dying and sickly and blowing on their face, I guess you could say, like, the breath of the Dalai Lama, like, in their culture could be like, oh, it's, it's like a blessing or something, and but this woman didn't pay attention to literally anything about the sucking of the tongue part. But somebody in here had written down or screenshotted something, I believe. And it was really, really interesting because it showed the actual, I think it was in the comment section of somebody who shared this. And there's a lot of shares. Any of my friends share this? Maybe this one, I think. Somebody in my share section, like, posted this that actually talked about that, like legit finally, like, was actually talking about, there it is. Okay. So here it says, in Tibetan culture, it is common to see the old grandparents not only give a pop kiss to the small children, but also give a small candy or piece of food to children from their mouths, directly mouth to mouth. This may not be the norm of your culture, but this is commonly done. After the elder gives a pop kiss and a candy, since there is nothing left in their mouth, nothing left to give, they will say the phrase, okay, now eat my tongue, not suck, as His Holiness misspoke due to his less proficient English. The Tibetan phrase is chelasa. They say that as in, I'll give you all my love and the candy. So that's it. That's all I have left, or all that's left to do is eat my tongue. And it's a playful thing that the children know. They said this is not really done in the Lhasa region, the capital of Tibet, so much, but it is more common in the Amdo region where HH is from. I don't know what HH is. However, it is definitely a Tibetan custom. That's what this person said. So that's what this person is saying. It's like the suck my tongue part, I guess, was like, it's like part of some little joke, I guess, that they do, is they do a mouth to mouth candy give, and then they stick out their tongue and they're like, suck, there's nothing left, so now you got to eat my tongue next, kind of thing. It's still gross to me. It's still really gross to me. I'm still not okay with it, obviously. Yeah, I don't want to disrespect other people's cultures. Like I said yesterday, if I heard from people from that area say that it's a part of their culture, the least I can do is say, okay, I guess it's still gross to me, but okay, kind of thing. It's still gross. But when I was like scrolling through trying to find new stuff, I found this, and the girl that wrote that original thing, I scrolled through her Facebook, and she definitely looks like she lives there. So at least there's one person. And then reading this part too, like I said, if this is true, okay, it's still gross, but maybe find something else that's not like as grody. That would be gross. That'd be a little nice. So, maybe start a new culture. It's 2023. Hasn't your culture been, hasn't monks and stuff been around for thousands of years and has evolved with it? Even though they've kept their traditions, they still have evolved with things. So maybe, doing things with little children over the thousands of years might have been okay in the cultures, even, all over the world have been okay with, children. Children were working when they started walking, and girls are being married off as soon as they start their periods in certain cultures and stuff. Doesn't mean you can't evolve. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. They should evolve. You can't believe this, to be honest. Yeah, it's pretty gross. I know it. It's just wrong. Yeah, it's not good. You just don't do it to kids. You just don't. If you might think that it's like some kind of holy thing, and it's supposed to be something that you think it's something holy, and you don't know what that kid could be going through. You don't know how that kid could be thinking. Like, I'm pretty sure my mom thought sitting me on dudes' laps when I was a child was some kind of innocent thing, but I'm pretty sure some of those times weren't very innocent when I was a kid sitting on random dudes' laps. So, yeah, not okay. Absolutely not okay. All right, so I am done for the day, you guys. I am officially 2 minutes over. Yeah, I did it. I made it. I made it with my lower back and everything. And look, Odin made it the whole time. He's been chilling. We got Izzy over here. She's chilling. They both been chilling. Been such good kitties. So proud of them. Yes, I'm looking forward to next stream too. Smoke more weeds, Yona. Absolutely. Thanks for coming by. Good. You got some weed? Good, Michael. Smoke the weed. Enjoy it. I think I'm going to I've got this little joint, right? I've been like dying to finish off. So I'm going to finish up my little joint. I've got my lime weed cigarette. Well, that's not even cigarette. It's like a vape thing. So I got some stuff today. Going to play some No Man's Sky, most likely get into some video games, do some grinding in the video games. So, and I will be back tomorrow, same time. That will be 1 p.m. Pacific California time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern time. Scotland, I have no idea. You might be going to bed or like just probably heading to bed right as soon as I start, because my brother in England, it's like 11 o'clock at night at like 3 p.m. for me or something like that. So it might be a little bit later than that. So you might be going to bed around the time I start again tomorrow. But have a good night. It was really good. It is 11 p.m. there right now. Okay. Yeah, that's what I figured. I'm trying to memorize UK time because my brother's out there right now. So for like the next couple months, and I'm trying to figure out like ways so I can talk to him and get on the phone with him where it's like a good time, because I'm on California time, the Pacific time, which it's like 3 in the afternoon right now, and it's 11 p.m. for you right now. So like, yeah, it's really hard to try to get to talk to my brother. So yeah. Tomorrow, Friday, you will be up late. Awesome, cool. With kids staying, awesome. We'll do a kid friendly show tomorrow. We'll just watch a bunch of TikToks for like 2 hours. That way, the kids will enjoy it. Kids love TikToks, don't they? My kids are teenagers, so I don't know about kids anymore. I'm done with kids. I hated them when they were kids. I hate them when they're teenagers too, but at least they're more tolerable. So. All right, so I will be back tomorrow, Saturday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. We got the Midnight Secret show with me and Warren. That's going to be our 1-year anniversary of the Midnight Secret show. So don't tell anybody about it. And what else do we got? I think Chicago Corner is going to be on today. So go ahead and head over to Chicago Corner and give them a follow or subscribe on YouTube. They're really awesome. Jerry and Ed are really, really, really good guys. Love them to death. Doing really awesome things. Just got independent. I'm super proud of them and excited for their new journey with Chicago Corner. So excited about that. Jerry still owes me a drink. When he came out here to LA, he never got a hold of me to go have a drink. So he still owes me a drink. And I still owe Ed like my opinion on like 50 movies that I haven't watched yet. So go give them a follow. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow. I love you all. Thank you all for coming. You guys are all my friends, and I truly appreciate every single one of you for being here. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Okay. Peace.